Is Hat Yai really that ugly? Being located on the Backpacker Banana Pancake Trail, many backpackers pass through Hat Yai. Well, at least they used to before COVID-19. In the past, I've read many uncomplimentary comments about Hat Yai on backpacker forums. On one occasion, many years ago, I got chatting to a backpacker girl in central Hat Yai. When she found out that I lived in Hat Yai, the expression on her face was incredulous. "You live here?" she said, hardly being able to believe what I had just told her. It's not surprising, really. Backpackers typically arrive at the train or bus station, stay at the Cathay Guest House, and only see a tiny fraction of the town. A part of the town, incidentally, that is close to being the ugliest. But there's more to Hat Yai, a lot more, and that's what I want to explore in this video. The area I'm going to look at is within a 15-minute radius of the airport. It's kind of ironic that many tourists will arrive at the airport, which is one of the most attractive areas, and their objective will be to get to the downtown area as quickly as possible, which is one of the least attractive areas. Okay, are you ready? Let's go! We're going to start our journey at this temple, which is called Wat Got Wat, and it's located just off the airport road, just a couple of kilometres from Hat Yai Airport. And it's quite spacious, and there's quite a lot of work going on as well. And last time I was here, this building wasn't as golden as it is now. This looks to be nearly finished. And there's a building over here that wasn't even there last time I visited. And these round stone balls, I'm not an expert, but I believe they're called Luk Nimit. And what happens is that there's a ceremony where people come to to decorate the balls with gold leaf, and then they're buried in some part of the temple. And this is a way of making merit for Thais. When I used to come to Thailand for vacations, I thought it was a very peaceful, relaxing country. When you live here, that's actually not the case, especially if you live in an urban area. It's crazy and frenetic most of the time. So when I need to relax, I just come out to this area, and my favoured mode of transport is my wife's little motorbike. Roads in Thailand terrify me, and motorbikes are particularly dangerous, but when I'm riding it, I just try to find quiet back roads, and I'm very, very careful. So let's jump on the motorbike and take a quick look around this area. Then my plan is to move to the other side of the airport road and take a look around there. And there's one really special place, but because of COVID it may be closed, we'll have to see. And then finally, around lunchtime, there's a really nice restaurant just behind the airport, and we'll go over there for lunch. As in Spanish-speaking countries, bullfighting is a big part of the southern Thai culture, but there's no matadors involved, it's just bull on bull. And I went to a stadium close to where I live last week, hoping to do a video about bullfighting, but there was none because of COVID, and there probably won't be for many more months. But just driving around this area, I've come across this small stadium, and I'm not sure if they're just practicing or keeping their bulls fit, but there is some kind of a competition here. And this really is typical of southern Thai culture. I don't think it's official, I just think it's a little bit of practice to keep the bulls in shape. In the past, I have attended a couple of official events, and I was quite concerned that the bulls would get hurt, but I didn't see a single animal get hurt. Once one bull has had enough, he will just run off, and then the other one wins. Of course, with sport in Thailand, it's not really about the sport, it's more about the gambling. The gambling is a big priority at these bullfights. There's not many people here. I've just had a chat with one guy, and he tells me that each bull is worth about 50,000 baht. You quite often see the guys walking their bulls in the road for exercise. Very common sight in this part of Thailand. In addition to the bulls, there are quite a few cows, and there's also a lot of bird life, herons and egrets. And in this particular area, there's quite a lot of white-throated kingfishers. And when they fly, you just see a beautiful flash of turquoise. It's one of those sights that really lifts the soul. Here's a sign for the special place I mentioned earlier, Farm Tua Yang. Farm is just the English word transliterated into Thai, and Tua Yang is like example or model farm. It's actually quite a good translation. And when I first discovered it, it wasn't open to the public. It would accept organised school trips, but not general members of the public. And then a couple of years ago, they opened the coffee shop and opened it to the public. And I believe it's actually a royal residence. So when members of the royal family are in this area, they stay here. Of course, that part of it is strictly off limits to the general public, and there's quite a lot of security. The rest of it is a farm which is done in accordance with the late King's theory of sufficiency economy, and it's all organic. So they've got plants there, and there's also quite a few animals. They've got ostriches and sheep and goats, and it's a really nice place to take the kids. The only problem, I think at the moment with COVID, it's going to be closed. So I'm just going to take a look, and if it's open, we'll go inside and have more of a look. I was pleasantly surprised to find that everything's open. I was really expecting it to be closed. And as you can see, there are soldiers everywhere. The entrance is manned by members of the Royal Thai Army. And I was given very strict instructions not to take photos near the royal residence. And the sheer number of soldiers here would indicate that it is indeed a royal residence. And the sign here says Farm Tua Yang Kanat Lek. So model farm, Kanat is size and Lek is small, the small size. So let's just take a look in here. This is where they grow fruit and vegetables. It's all maintained beautifully, it's all organic. As I say, in accordance with the King's theory of sufficiency economy. You get quite a few parties of Thai school children come here to find out about rural life. There's information signs and lots of signs, but they're all in Thai, unfortunately. This place is not really intended for foreigners. All the staff are wearing army fatigues, so they all look like soldiers here. I haven't seen any animals yet, but I think there's some animals up here. Last time I was here, there were some. Oh, we have cages, but they look quite empty. Ah, sheep. A couple of sheep there. There's a few more in the little hut, but not many animals today. Cow with a falling tone is rice, and here we have some small rice fields, and this is one of my very favourite colours. I think this colour green of freshly grown rice is the most relaxing colour there is. And when I first came to Hat Yai, I really wanted to see rice fields, and I lived in the middle of town, and I imagined I would have to go to other provinces, but that's not the case at all, because you only have to go a little way. This area around the airport, there are actually lots and lots of rice fields. And over here we have Matlakgor papaya. These aren't real kwai, water buffalo, although the formal word is grabur. and I have to be very, very careful where I point my camera. Just behind me there's a large group of soldiers and a huge sign in red and white about not taking photographs, and if I just turn around 180 degrees now with my camera, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. There's some wild flowers here, a little reservoir of water, and the chairs over the back are the back end of the coffee shop where I'll go now. And here we have some banana trees that are interspersed with papaya trees. I really love this place. I find it very relaxing, and it only takes 15 minutes to get to from where I live. I never wanted to live in Hat Yai long term. This was my first stop, but long term I wanted to live in Chiang Rai. I'm not big on beaches and islands. I prefer mountains and rice fields. The problem when you get married to a Thai girl is that it's she that decides where you live, and like most Thai girls, my wife wanted to stay near her family, so we're in Hat Yai. But it's actually worked out quite well. So we have a family, and when you have kids you need access to schools and hospitals and shops, and we've got all those things. If I leave my house and go out to the main road and turn right, I can get to that big branch of Central Festival in 15 minutes, and I can get to all the other facilities that we need. If I want to relax, I just turn left, and within 15 minutes I can be in places like this. So it wasn't my first choice, but it's actually turned out very well, and now I'm quite happy about where we live. Here's the coffee shop. There's no food, unfortunately. It's just drinks and cakes and ice creams and snacks and things, but it's quite a nice place to sit down and relax. We just saw some fake water buffalo, and here are some real ones. Unfortunately I can't get closer, and I didn't bring any long lenses with me today. Here they are, 3 water buffalo. And here we have some more wild flowers and another water buffalo. This one's being followed by a couple of cattle egrets that have just flown off. And when I came out this morning I didn't think I needed a longer lens, and now I wish I'd brought one. Never mind. And in this field we have quite a few goats. And if they're still there, there should still be some ostriches. So let's go and see if we can find the ostriches. I can't find the ostriches. Last time I saw them, they were in this field where the goats are now. So it looks like the goats have replaced them, and I don't know where the ostriches have gone. Maybe I can find someone to ask, or maybe I can't. I hope you enjoyed that quick visit to the model farm. In Thailand there are tourist attractions that are specifically for foreign tourists, and there are other tourist attractions for the domestic market. And those ones for Thais, the Thais keep very quiet. They don't advertise them, and all the signs are just in Thai, and they don't really encourage foreigners to go. But if you can find this place, it's really worth a visit. Now I'm going to go to a reservoir that I quite like. My original intention was to stop off at some more rice fields, but time is running out. So I'm just going to go straight to the reservoir, have a look around there, and then go to the restaurant that I mentioned earlier. Krongan Project Angep Nam Reservoir Klong La. So this is Klong La Reservoir. And as I mentioned in my video about floods and droughts in Thailand, reservoirs are a very important part of the Thai water management infrastructure, but they're also areas of outstanding natural beauty. The last couple of times I was here, this barrier was closed, so there was no access for cars. That wouldn't have been a problem because I'm on the bike today and it's quite easy to get through on a bike, but it's interesting to see that today it's open. For getting around this part of Thailand, the motorbike is perfect. A push bike will be too hot and tiring, and in a car you just feel too isolated and there's no contact with nature, and the motorbike is really ideal. So what I'm going to do is just drive around the rim of the reservoir, and there's a picnic spot at the other end which I'll show you, and then I'll go and have some lunch in the restaurant that I keep mentioning. This area is very near to Malaysia, and I've been here when the reservoir has been almost empty. Because we've just been through the wettest wet season for 10 years, This is probably the most full I've seen it. So there certainly shouldn't be any water shortages next year. They don't sell food here, but if you bring your own food, they've got tables and chairs where you can sit down and have a picnic. There's some pets for rent. Thailand's usual stray dogs. They just want a friend most of the time. And there are a few fishermen here, but they tell me that they haven't had any luck and that in this huge body of water there are no fish. Nongกินอะไรครับ
ขนม
กินขนม วันนี้ทำไมไม่ไปโรงเรียน
ยังไม่เข้าโรงเรียน
ยังไม่เข้า โอเค
ยังไม่ถึงเกณฑ์เข้าโรงเรียน ยังเด็กอยู่
กี่ขวบครับ 3 ขวบ okay. This place is on the opposite side of the airport to the reservoir, but everywhere we've been today is within about 15 or 20 minutes of the airport. I'm not sure of the pronunciation. I think it's Pornapan. And when we go out for a meal for a special occasion, a birthday or something, this is the place I really like. I wouldn't say the food is any better than anywhere else, but I really like the ambience and I just like being in the Thai countryside. They've got fruit gardens here and a suspension bridge, which we'll begin to walk across. And down below is a small river. And when we come with the kids, we always bring their swimming costumes and they can play in the water down there, which I quite enjoy. It's a really nice place. There's quite a lot of water at the moment. We had some rapids. I've never been in myself, but my kids tell me that the water is very cold. Here's some of the accommodation. I'm not sure how many rooms there are or how much per night, but if I can find someone at the front desk, I'll ask those questions. Here are all the accommodation options here. So they've got Hong Prashum Seminar, so seminar meeting rooms for 2,000. Then they've got these big places that can accommodate up to 16 people. That's 8,000 baht a night. Quite expensive, but it's only 500 baht per person. And then smaller, cheaper places, so for 2 people, 1,000 baht a night. And they've even got tent accommodation for 2 people, and that's 600 baht a night. And my pronunciation was right. The place is called Ban Suan Pornapan. And if you're interested in staying here or eating here, here's their telephone number. This is new. There certainly wasn't a swimming pool here last time, otherwise my kids would have found it very quickly. This place has fruit gardens. They grow durian and other fruit, and they have a lot of land. It really is worth a visit if you're in Hat Yai. The trouble with riding a motorbike is you get fried in the tropical heat. I feel like I've been in a microwave. My arms are a lobster pink colour and I look just like a tourist. So I'm going to go home now and try and cool down. So what do you think? After watching this video, do you really think that Hat Yai is that ugly? I get really fed up with backpackers who go no further than the train station, the bus station and the Cathay Guest House and then tell the world what a grotty place Hat Yai is. Because if you live here and you actually get off your butt and look around a bit, you'll find that there's some very, very attractive areas around Hat Yai. As ever, thank you for watching. Since I started doing videos about Hat Yai, both views and subscriptions have started to increase. So please keep it going. If you like this kind of thing, please subscribe to the channel and there'll be more videos soon.